Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you in a bit. Today we're going to CEX. There is, or was, a decently cool looking steelbook for PlayStation 3 last time I went. And if that's still there, I'm going to get it. We're also going to go and pick up Neve's car from the garage, because last week when we went to Stoke CEX, her fuel filler cap broke and we couldn't fill her car up and she had no fuel, or near enough no fuel. So we had to take that to the garage and then they had to order a part and it took a bit. Anyway, I have not had much sleep, so I'm going to have a coffee and then we're going to go. And by coffee, this is what I mean. Hang on. A Jimmy's X My Protein iced coffee, and gonna make it toffee flavoured with some My Protein toffee flavour drops. Anything you get from My Protein, use code Cayle.
Hello, Ruby. Ruby Roo. Ruby Roo.
Ruby needs a lunch.
I need my lunch because I'm starving.
Ruby Roo. Ruble Stiltskin. Ruber. Roobster. Ruble Roo. Rubert Roo. How many more names can we go through?
Ruby Dooby Doo. Ruby Doobs. Webster.
Little sausage.
Before we head off to CEX, the other day my local said that they won't accept more than 20 DVDs in a row, like in one go anymore. And I still have a pile of DVDs to take back. And I don't know how many's in here, but I think it's more than 20. So, gonna have a quick count up before we head off. And then I think we're off to Little Newcastle CEX, because I said I was gonna go to Stafford CEX and take a look for a steelbook that was there the other day, but that plan's now moved. Going to Little Newcastle instead, because I've not been there in months. And it's worth checking out. I did Cannock the other day, we did Stafford the day before that. Might as well.
Get my Starbucks first.
I guess so.
And then we go to Kex.
Yeah, I suppose. Right, let's count up how many's in here. So, on top of the bag I just showed you guys, I've now found 2 more bags worth of DVDs to take. So we might be going to several CEXs today, depending on how many they'll let me trade in. It'll be a bit of a test to see if CEX rules stand up across multiple stores, because every CEX loves to say things as if it stands for every CEX, and it almost never does. So we're going to find out. Alright then, the journey begins. So, first we're going to Starbucks because Neve wants Starbucks, and apparently there's some sort of members-only exclusive Starbucks, isn't there? She says that it's not on the main menu.
It's not on the menu yet, it's just early access.
It's early access. She's
VIP.
because she's famous. So we're going to Starbucks, then Little Newcastle CEX, then Marks and Spencer's. Why are we going to Marks and Spencer's?
Because I want to get free biscuits.
Free biscuits. Okay. And then CEX Stoke again. Probably, definitely. Neve, what's this drink then? What's it called?
It's meant to be the tiramisu oat-shaken espresso, but it looks really big. Looks bigger than it should do.
I'll give you something big. How is it?
Oh, that is a bit good to be fair.
The guy sounded very confused as to what you'd asked him to make.
That is a bit good to be fair.
It's better than your matches. Okay, into Newcastle CEX we go, but what's in the window first? A boxed Game Boy Advance is pretty cool. I've still got my Game Boy Advance from when I was a kid. First CEX trip down, and as I'm recording the audio for this, the member of staff behind me was working her way through the first pile of DVDs. We got here nice and early, so a lot of people on TikTok were complaining, saying that they must hate when people do this, and I'm like, I would like it. It would give you something to do. I always used to like at Tesco when something came up that I knew would take a big block of time. Or like, if you're in school, for example, when you're in a lesson that was an hour long, you'd sit there and think, right, it's not an hour, it's half an hour twice, or 15 minutes 4 times. So I feel like if I was on shift at a CEX and somebody brought me a task that was going to take 20 minutes, I would see that as like a 20-minute window of time that has now been just taken up and is covered for, versus just sort of clock watching and waiting. But yeah, no problem with this CEX taking those DVDs versus Stafford telling me 3 weeks. I don't know what's going on there, and I'm definitely going to mention it like 20 more times before the end of the next like 4 videos. But There's a lot of PS4 games I've just not seen in person around here at the moment. And also, check this out, something we're going to see a lot today is this Dark Souls with the trilogy front cover. They're not supposed to sell, technically, it's a CEX rule, they're not supposed to sell games that don't have age ratings on the front cover. Right? Most games have got it printed onto the cover art. But what happens is these trilogy box sets, they come out of these Dark Souls trilogy front covers come out of the trilogy box set. Now, people like me, like Black Friday and stuff, when these trilogy box sets go on sale on Black Friday on Amazon, I remember I bought like 10 of them, cracked all 10 open, took each individual Dark Souls game to different CEXs. And some CEXs would try and say they can't take them because there's no age rating on it. But you'll see multiple times today that different CEXs do take them, and then will just print their own sticker to put on it. Like that 16 age rating sticker that was on Dark Souls 3 just then to my right. That wasn't on the cover art. That wasn't there when whoever bought it in. It was just printed off and put on there so that they can actually sell it. Because they will sell it, because it makes them a lot of money. It's a pretty expensive set of games, really. Interestingly, the only thing that I actually came for in this CEX was a PS2 game, and look how sparse the PS2 section is looking. I was a little bit concerned that what I wanted to get whilst here wasn't there, because there might be like 20 PS2 games in total. Like every single game that you're looking at right now on that PS2 section is facing forwards. And if games are facing forwards, that's usually a sign that they don't actually have very many games whatsoever. But you'll see by the time we go whether or not I found what it was that I came for. So, for a very, very long receipt that goes to the floor of DVDs, let's see how much they gave me, shall we? £12 and a penny. Not bad. Could have been less. Okay, now we're going to Marks and Spencer's and hopefully get some food somewhere because I've gone hypoglycemic.
That was me yesterday with my Oreo eggs.
Why are you in the road?
Which you ate 2 of.
Look at this. I haven't eaten it yet. It's on me.
Well, I ate 2 yesterday anyway.
Yeah, I know you did. I counted. Why is that? Why is that in the road? That is surely not road legal. I don't see no registration plate on it, and I bet it doesn't pay
The path's
tax.
big enough you can go on the path.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we're off to
Can you
M&S.
tell it suddenly got posher?
It has all of a sudden got posher, yeah.
Everything's a bit more leafy.
Yeah, and people look a little bit less Jeremy Kyle. I miss the Jeremy Kyle show.
I mentioned that to somebody at the pub quiz. And
Well, looks like you're going to struggle to park, you know. Looks pretty busy. Could have gone to Starbucks here instead.
Yeah.
And it's 24 hours.
I could have parked up.
24-hour Starbucks seems insane to me. Like,
Well, if you're driving late.
of all the things to be 24 hours, like, a lot of McDonald's ain't 24 hours anymore.
Some people might just want a coffee today.
It's like, do you remember that time we were coming back off holiday and we got off at the services and nothing inside the services was open?
Oh yeah, and we tried to get KFC and we
Yeah.
had nothing, and we had to get McDonald's when we came back near our house.
To our 24-hour McDonald's, but like the whole
That
point.
was when the flight was delayed when we came back
Watch
from holiday. I don't remember which holiday
I
it was.
don't understand the point of a services if it's not open all the time, because it's a services, surely. It's for people driving long distance, like lorry drivers,
At night,
that,
and
at
they-
night and need food. Like, that makes sense to me, right? Got a can of real full sugar. We do not say full fat. We are accurate around here. Coca-Cola from M&S, as well as some sort of billionaire's yum nut and a cookie. A yum nut sounds like something you'd find on the hub. Yeah. Right. Now, walking through Stoke to go to Stoke CEX, drop off the final bag of DVDs and see if there's anything in there worth buying. Here's hoping. Into the worst CEX we go. You know, it's funny, right? I said into the worst CEX we go, and this audio you're now hearing is me filming it like a day later after the events of today being over. And I'm right. I'm still so right. There was a time that I thought Little Newcastle CEX was probably one of the worst, but no, Stoke CEX is the worst, by far. It's not even close. The actual contents of the shop is usually pretty good. They often have some cool stuff, but just the shop itself and the way that it works is just baffling to me every single time, except for one guy. One guy in there is really, really good at his job, but a lot of them are not. Some cool steelbooks though. I think it's interesting. I've heard stories before about how Little Newcastle and Stoke CEX will like pit each other against each other. Like if Stoke has got something that they don't want to deal with, they'll send the customer to the other one, or vice versa, because they're only like a 5-minute drive apart. And I think that's kind of interesting. But yeah, Stoke CEX is one that I don't want to keep visiting. But if I'm going to keep returning or trading in lots of DVDs, Stoke CEX makes the most sense because they're the ones that have got the massive floor upstairs specifically for DVDs. Like Stoke CEX will never have a problem taking in DVDs. There's no world. Like Stafford CEX saying they're downsizing their DVD section and therefore can't take them. That's fair. Stoke CEX have got an entire floor dedicated to just DVDs. Also, oh look, there's another trilogy box set front cover with the sticker printed onto the front of it. And pretty much every Dragon Ball Z game as well. It took me forever to find the Dragon Ball Z games across the PS4 generation. But pretty much all of them are in Stafford and all of them are in here. Whenever I see a slipcover like that, always have to check to see if it's a steelbook. Not that I would have bought Murder on the Orient Express, but it would have been interesting. It's always cool to see steelbooks you've never seen before, I suppose. Good lord, CEX Stoke is just abysmal. There is no worse CEX, I don't think.
No.
The staff just don't know how to do anything, except one. No, that's not true. That's a blanket statement. One of them, really good at his job. Lad with decently long hair and a beanie. Mm-hmm. He's great. He's always been great. Every time I've ever been in there, he's great. All of the others, just I've been to a lot of CEXs. This is the only CEX that you can go to, and it doesn't matter how busy it is, there will be a queue nearly out the door because they just don't. I've said it before, it's like they've never touched a disc before because they can't handle discs. They can't open cases like lickety-split. It's crazy. One of the games I've bought is an interesting one. I bought a PS2 game that I've been looking for a while, and every time I find it, it's a platinum version. And I watched her. I found the non-platinum version of it today, and I watched her put the platinum disc into the non-platinum case. And I was like, "Oh, excuse me, it's the platinum disc." And I saw on the shelf that they did have a platinum version of it as well. So I was like, "They just need to go and find the other thing." And how would you describe her reaction to me pointing out that it was the platinum? Would you say that?
Like you just slapped her.
She looked very offended, and it's crazy. And I just don't get it. It's always just Stoke CEX that are just bad. But now let's go home and see the dog. We've been out of the house for quite a while. Although, where's my receipts? Are they in here? The receipts from that one.
I don't know.
So that time, the voucher for the films came to pretty good, actually. I bought 13 quid's worth of games, and I still have a £5 voucher left over. So there must have been about 18 quid's worth of stuff before. They didn't give me the receipt or even tell me the amount the original voucher was, because again, it's CEX Stoke and they're not very good at their jobs. But yeah, let's go. We're home, Rubster. Did you miss us? Have you been good girl?
You've been such a sleepy girl.
She's just slept the entire time we've been out. We've been out for like 4 hours. She's much better behaved than she used to be. There was a time where she'd start barking the house down if she was on her.
Last time we went to this Marks and Spencer's.
Yeah. There was a time where she'd bark the house down if she was left alone for more than an hour. So separation anxiety appears to have been solved.
Well, also she was having a phantom pregnancy.
Yeah, there was that too. But she's in season right now too.
No, but she just.
Okay, let's go through everything we got at the various CEXs today. Like I said, I didn't get too much because that wasn't really the purpose. The purpose was taking in the DVDs and stuff. But I'll show you the results of that too because things have gone a bit mad. So let's begin. So from CEX number 1, actually no, this was definitely Stoke number 2. We got Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare. I specifically got this because very frequently the topic of standalone DLC comes up on TikTok, and people see stuff like this, or Dishonored Death of the Outsider, or Infamous First Light, and think that they are full-blown games, and not just DLC that was thrown onto a disc simply to sell more and make more money. And having this to physically show and demonstrate will be a good one, because I don't have any of the others, I don't think, of the other standalone DLCs. Next up, we finally got Ratchet & Clank 3 with a non-platinum case. However, we do have the platinum disc, and they didn't have a non-platinum disc. And I wasn't going to let it go, because realistically the disc doesn't matter to me very much, due to the fact that when I actually do play Ratchet & Clank, or did play them last year, I played the HD trilogy over on PlayStation 3, so the disc being platinum doesn't make too much of a problem. In fact, having this will make for more good TikToks, because I can literally do a TikTok being like, guys, CEX made a mistake. They sold me a regular thing, but didn't look at the disc. Because I pointed it out, she went to look for the regular one, couldn't find it. Right, that's CEX number 1. Let's do CEX number 2. I apparently only got one thing while we were in there, and it was Jack and Daxter. The very first Jack and Daxter. I think that means that I now have Jack and Daxter 1 and 2, and I'm in need of 3 and X. I'm pretty sure there is a few on PlayStation 2. One of them's way more expensive than the others. One of the Jack and Daxters is like 38 quid, and the others are all about £5 a piece. But also, here's something interesting. I have spotted something incredibly rare. One of the rarest horror games on PlayStation 2 has just appeared as a one-off in a CEX, and I might take a trip to go and get it across the week, or go and have a look at it at least to see if it's the one I want, because there are so many different versions of it. We'll see. But yeah, let me show you guys the result of taking the DVDs to CEX as far as the TikTok content went, because I knew the TikToks would blow up. So here's the views, just shy of 1.1 million views, and $828 for a 62-second video of me trading in and talking about trading in the DVDs at CEX. So while I might not have gotten very much money in return for them individually, the video about it did. Here's another one. So I went in again, didn't I, yesterday? So this video here is yesterday's video of me taking in the individual CEX bags rather than the big Aldi bag from before. And this one so far has done $218, and obviously is still going because it's a brand new video. So pretty productive use of time. In fact, if this keeps happening every time I post about that sort of thing on TikTok, I might buy job lots of DVDs from eBay and take them straight to CEX and keep recreating this format, because it'd be silly not to with the results, you know? Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's CEX hauls and today's trips and stuff like that, and thought it was interesting. I still do have quite a few more actual DVDs that I do need to replace with Blu-rays. So once they have been replaced with Blu-rays, then I can do this same format again where I'll take them to CEX. So stay tuned. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you later.